So I just wanted to make this video talking about the United States presidential election back in November of 2016. It came to light that the primaries were rigged against Bernie Sanders. That was the whole Deborah Wasserman Schultz debacle thing going on, which came to light. Along with the DNC fraud lawsuit that was filed by Jared and Elizabeth Beck, where the DNC basically defended themselves by saying that they should be allowed to have a bunch of guys get together in a back room and decide who their nominee is, like the old days. So that's not democracy, and they went against their own charter, but I guess the court case got thrown out on a technicality. So I just want to let you know that the dark is taking over our country right now. That's totally obvious. It's why we have so many hurricanes going on, earthquakes, natural disasters, Donald Trump talking about DACA, just separation, people fighting, racism. The dark is taking over our country. And so I'm kind of letting you know the steps of how this happened and how we got here. So the truth coming out of Deborah Wasserman Schultz, nobody really gave a crap. Nobody cared. Just so you know, the truth is the light. So this is actually the angelic realm trying to reach down and help the United States. And we don't care. We don't give a crap. So Deborah Wasserman Schultz, okay, whatever, you know, oh, all's fair in politics, eh, Bernie? Go piss up a rope. Don't care, right? So push him aside. And then the DNC doesn't really give a crap. So that got thrown out of court. Jared and Elizabeth Beck were speaking for the light. They were working for the light. I don't know what to tell you. Our judicial system wasn't, because this was actually the truth trying to come through again and help us. Nobody really gave a crap that the DNC favored Hillary over Bernie. So there is another truth that nobody really embraced or cared about. So whatever. Again, sorry, Bernie, go piss up a rope. So nobody cared the primaries were rigged against Bernie. Whatever. Let's just laugh it off. Hillary's our nominee. Let's go. Bring her forward. Well, that doesn't work for the angelic realm. That doesn't work for the divine himself, because Hillary was actually guilty of racketeering and abuse of power. So she was a weak candidate. And if she did win, she actually would have led us to war as well. So Hillary Clinton's free will decision and her being an energetic match for the dark herself actually led to her losing the election. Did you wonder why the whole James Comey thing happened so close to the election? Stirred doubt in everybody's mind, raised questions. She wasn't supposed to win. That was actually the light working through James Comey at that point. Believe it or not, he was actually supposed to take it a step further and didn't, but whatever. So Hillary was never even supposed to be the nominee. Bernie Sanders was actually supposed to win, and he would have won had the DNC played fair. Hillary, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, etc. played fair. Bernie Sanders actually would have been the nominee. He would have gone up against Donald Trump and won. Why? Because that would be the path of truth that would have been followed. That would have been the light coming through. Bernie Sanders, it's actually his life purpose to be president, and he would have brought us together in unity, and we would have become a stronger nation as a result. Instead, we're all separated out and very weak right now as a result of Mr. Trump. So that was the truth trying to come through and help us, and nobody really seemed to embrace it or care. So our judicial system failed us. The DNC failed us. Hillary Clinton screwed us over. The best thing Hillary Clinton could have done was stepped aside and let Bernie just walk in front of her. That actually would have been a really smart thing to do. It also would have been really smart for the DNC to embrace their truth that their nominee was too weak to go up against Donald Trump. She was. She was too weak to go up against Donald Trump, which is why she lost. So another thing is the Russian interference. I feel like a broken record because I've been talking about the same stuff for so long. But the Russians did interfere in our election via the media. Facebook just admitted it. So I think the latest stats were that like 70 million people were influenced via, false Russian Facebook ads. So I guess that's where I'm challenging the American people, where it's like, what are we going to do with this truth? Are we just going to ignore it because nobody really seems to care about the truth? So it's coming to light that the Russians did interfere in our election and they did manipulate you. Like, does anybody care? Or are we just going to be like, whatever, that's just politics, huh? Oh, well, let's just laugh it off. Well, let me humor you there for a second, since I guess I'm just really upset that this world is so lame and nobody gives a crap about the truth. Let me tell you what would happen normally. Okay, politics is dirty. Things happen. Oh, well, stop being so naive, Christine. You and your little truth are nice, but whatever, let's be realistic. It's a competition and people fight dirty. On a normal day, okay, Donald Trump becomes president. We have him for the next 4 years and whatever. Unfortunately, this isn't a normal day. Unfortunately, Donald Trump is a narcissist. That's why 27 psychiatrists got together and published a book about him that's coming out in October about him having narcissistic personality disorder and them expressing their concern about that aspect. But the problem is, Donald Trump, as you can see based on the speech that he just gave the UN, is extremely egoic. So his ego actually ends up getting us blown up. A nuclear bomb hits the US mainland, hole in our ozone, vegetation problems, agricultural problems galore, massive, massive destruction. So that's, of course, from Kim Jong-un. So therein lies the rub. Donald Trump's ego actually ends up getting us blown up. So that's why I'm making this video, and I'm asking you, if you are residing in the United States, do you care? Do you care? Do you care that the dark's taking over our country? Do you care that we're an energetic match for nuclear war? Do you care about all the fighting and separation and racism and natural disasters and how our country's basically just going down the tubes? Have you watched, Sarah Huckabee Sanders answer questions? How does your gut feel? How does your intuition feel when you listen to her answer questions? Does it just sound like a bunch of BS coming out of her mouth? Because the White House is just lie after lie after lie. Donald Trump even tweeted on Friday that the Russian interference in the election is a hoax. No, it's not a hoax. As a matter of fact, the divine is confirming that they did interfere in our election and they did interfere in our free will. So like I said, on a normal day, oh well, we would just deal with Donald Trump for the next 4 years. Well, we don't. We get blown up. We get blown up. Our lives are cut short. So I guess I'm just asking anyone if they care. Like, do you care that the 2016 election was totally fraudulent? Do you care that your free will was manipulated? Do you care that Bernie Sanders was just brushed aside like yesterday's news when it's really his life purpose to be president? Do you care? Because here's the thing. The divine is all-knowing, so he sees where we're headed and he sees what happens to us. So he needs us to turn this ship away from the iceberg. Now, me, who knows this stuff because this absolute divine truth just hits me over the head like a hammer, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Christine, how do you even sleep at night? There are two words that keep flashing in my brain. And it's literally the only reason why I'm able to sleep at night. And it's the only reason why I know that we, the American people, have the ability to change the future. If people care about the truth, if people start embracing the truth, get off the couch and start giving a crap, we won't get blown up. Okay? We will not get blown up. These are the words. Free will. This is the only thing we have going for us right now. Thank God. Our free will was manipulated. The divine is not even acknowledging the 2000 election as an election. He's saying it's fraudulent and it's illegitimate. And he definitely doesn't acknowledge Donald Trump as our president. Because if your presidency is a result of fraud and foreign interference, sorry, you're just one big historical error. Erase his name from the history books as number 45 and let's get the real 45 in there. Will the real 45 please stand up? This is why we as the American people are being looked after by the divine. Because our free will was manipulated. DNC, Russian interference, the election was a joke. It was a mess and it was a joke and we need a second election. So what's your part? I just told you you're on Flight 93. I just told you you're on United Flight 93. You are. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit in your seat and ask for another drink? Or are you going to go bum rush the cockpit and say, what the hell? I'm on Flight United 93. I got a passport I can't use. The divine won't let me. He won't let me split. Could. Can't. Won't let me. But what are you guys going to do? What are we going to do? Do you guys care about the truth? Because you have to. In this case, I'm sorry, you have to. You have to care about the truth. These truths are coming out. What are you going to do to embrace it? You can't just be like, oh, well, guess our election was pretty funky, huh? Pour me another drink. It's like, no pour you another drink. You get off the couch and you demand another election. And say, I expect this election done correctly, and I expect a democracy. It's what you deserve. I'm sorry, but it's what we, the American people, deserve, is a fair election. And I got news for you. We got the divine on our side, man. It's not just us against the world. Big boss upstairs is backing us because karmically we're out of balance with the U.S. government. So the divine's going to place the people in a position of power over the U.S. government. So we got forces of nature on our side. We got the law of attraction on our side. We got the divine helping us. So we got gas in our tank. But it's up to us to give a crap about the truth. It's up to us to realize our free will was manipulated, take that truth and grab onto it with both hands and let it ride us forward instead of just like, oh, well, I'm a helpless victim. There's nothing I can do. It's like, together there is stuff we can do. We need a second election, period. I got news for you. The U.S. government blows up too. So it's in their best interest to have a second election also. That's why this situation is so ridiculous. But aside from our free will being manipulated in the election, especially, even during the primaries, the divine is upset that we were given a choice of dark versus dark, because Hillary would have resulted in war and Trump results in war. So we were given a choice of dark versus dark. That's not representative of human free will. Human free will is dark versus light. So if Bernie Sanders was thrown in there, would have had light. So that's why the divine is like, time out, cut, no. This isn't how human free will works. So I'm thankful. I, as an individual, am extremely grateful for this divine intervention because it makes sense. You can't mess with human free will. You can't. Huge no with the dude upstairs. No. U.S. Constitution, U.S. government, oh, we have all this power. We have all this power over you. We're going to squash you like a bug. The American people are this big, and we're this big. We're the boss, not you. It's like, actually, you're wrong. Because the people are going to be placed in a position of power over you guys now, because you abused your power over us. We're sitting here squawking about healthcare. You don't care. You're not listening to us. We're sitting here squawking about DACA. You don't care. You're not listening to it. You don't care. You guys don't care about truth. So the American people better. But I'm just saying, the divine is helping us, but we need to step up to the plate and we need to do our part and we need to give a crap about the truth. And that means embracing the rigged primaries and embracing the Russian interference and having another election. We don't have a choice, you guys. We don't have a choice. We don't. It's either that or we get blown up. I'm not saying Kim Jong-un survives either. but we get blown up. Donald Trump, man, just pokes at him. Him and Kim Jong-un, man, it's like oil and water. Don't underestimate him. Don't underestimate him at all. I take this situation very seriously. And that's why I need you guys to do the same. When I read the news, it's like making my job easier and easier because my assertions are becoming no-brainers. Where it's like, well, no duh, no duh, no duh. It's like, yeah, no duh. I've been saying this stuff forever. And the fact that it's finally coming to light isn't making me happy and excited. Like, oh, I get to puff out my ego. I was right. It's like, no. It's actually making it easier because it's helping me gain credibility so that people listen to me and take me seriously. And then I know I'm not going to die. But people need to get off the couch and they need to start caring about the truths. So please don't watch the news and be like, that's cute, and then just turn it off like whatever. It's like, no, you're going to be directly affected by this. So I need you to start caring like right here, right now. And if you're an intuitive who sees nuclear war in your crystal ball, please bang your tambourine. For heaven's sakes, where are you guys? I got friends who are like, I don't want to scare people. It's like, it's not about scaring people. You're lucky to know this. I'm trying to empower you. My new tagline is, we are all superheroes. I have to empower you. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, throw your hands up in the air and be like, oh, whatever, there's nothing I can do. It's like, no, you put on your freaking cape and you fly around. And you bust out that personal power and you kick some butt. And you take back the power because the dark is taking over our country. It's all over the news. It's so obvious. The dark is taking over our country, for heaven's sakes. This is what I saw in my crystal ball. Everything I saw happening is happening. The Russian interference, Donald Trump pissing off Kim Jong-un. It's like, this is moronic. What I'm personally witnessing is moronic. And I'm telling you, it has catastrophic results, and I need you to take me seriously. So please, social media, whatever you want to do, bang your tambourine and say we want a second election. Just bang your tambourine. That's all. You want your free will back. You want a second election. You want a fair election. That's your right as an American. And that's all I'm asking you to do, is to speak your truth. Because if we can get together and have a collective voice, we can and will make a difference. And we can turn this ship away from that big, gigantic, stupid iceberg that's getting closer and closer. God bless America. To everyone else watching, take care and be well. Thank you.